You're listening to the Relational Astrology Podcast, where we use the powerful tool of astrology to transform relationships in every area of your life: romantic, personal, professional, and beyond. This isn't your typical astrology podcast, and you don't need to be an astro expert to join in. Get ready for real-life examples, practical tips, and tools you can start using right away to strengthen your connections. Ready to improve the relationships in your life? Grab your birth chart and let's dive in.
So how is it that there can be a person you dislike so much in high school, and 10 years later you go to your high school reunion or you reconnect with them on social media and they end up becoming your best friend? Or how is it that sometimes we date somebody and then 10, 20, 30 years later they come back into our world and we end up marrying them and having the most magical relationship with them? Now, most people's answer is going to be that you've grown, you've changed, you've evolved. And while yes, this is true, but as a relational astrologer, I see it as the compatibility, your needs have changed and grown and evolved in cycle and rhythm to your birth chart. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Mandy Rose. Welcome in to our podcast. I help you use the tool of astrology to have better relationships, and this topic specifically around chemistry will help you understand that using your birth chart, which is your own unique energetic blueprint, and harmonizing that and relating that to another person's blueprint, their energy profile, is compatibility. Relating better to other people, blending your uniqueness with their uniqueness. And when we meet someone originally, we are on a place of our journey and they're on a place of their journey. And as we part ways, the planets, the cosmic universe is imprinting new lessons, helping us grow, helping us evolve. And we're each moving towards our own north node in our birth chart, our North Star. And as we start growing and evolving, our needs, our wants, our desires also change. And they can realign us with the same person who's also grown, evolved, and changed. Now, oftentimes when I do readings, compatibility is the number one question. Are we compatible? Is this person meant for me? And compatibility today, I want to break it down for you because I want you to think of it in a different light. There is no right or wrong or perfect compatibility. It is your ability to be very clear with who you are, what you need, what you desire, what you want in that season of your life, and also being able to clearly look at the other person for who they are and what they need and what they want, and being able to say, yes, we can blend that, we can work with that, we can merge that, or we can't, and we move on. Now, oftentimes people are scared to get a compatibility reading with me. So I want to debunk that right away, because I think this holds a lot of people back from the magic of using the tool of astrology in their relationships. People are so afraid of doing a compatibility reading because they're afraid that I'm going to tell them that they're not a match, or that they're not meant to be together, or try again in 20 years. There is no perfect compatibility. And there is no bad compatibility. Again, it's, can they relate to each other? Can they understand each other? Can they give each other grace and patience and understand that life happens in seasons? And sometimes we just have to stick it out long enough through a certain season till we realign and come back together. And whether we do that in the relationship or we separate and come back together in the physical world, it's all a cycle and pattern. So we're debunking it all today. We're taking that fear away. I'm going to be talking very conceptually today. I'm going to be giving you food for thought on how this all connects: astrology, relationships, our birth charts, and we'll have more specific episodes that deep dive into specifically each relationship dynamic, how you can be more compatible with your siblings, your children, your romantic partner, your bosses, your coworkers, etc. But today it's just a broad spectrum. If you're into this, you love this vibe, then let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so I already mentioned this, but I really want to make it clear. Your birth chart is who you're meant to be in this lifetime. Someone else's birth chart is who they are meant to be in this lifetime. It is the energy that they inhaled at the moment of their first breath that becomes their energetic blueprint. This is important to understand because oftentimes in relationships, we desire people to be something they are not. We want them to be more quiet, more loud, more shy, more this, more that, when they're meant to be who they are. And we are meant to be who we are. And this is the foundational principle of relational astrology. Because if we cannot see somebody for who they are, we cannot relate to them for who they are. And if we don't show up as our authentic self of who we're meant to be in this lifetime, the way in which people are relating to us isn't true. They aren't relating to us, they're relating to the version of us that we have now created that isn't in alignment with who we're supposed to be. So that is first and foremost. So really understanding people for who they are and not trying to change them. Also, with this entire principle is recognizing that authenticity is the most important thing that we can have in any relationship, because we give others the opportunity to relate to us, to be in relationship to who we're supposed to be. I see this a lot in partnerships when I'm doing compatibility readings. And again, whether it's for friends or coworkers, or when I go to a business and we do sessions for team building in certain departments or industries, people are showing up in a certain way that isn't who they are. And when they eventually decide to go through a personal development journey or come into astrology and they figure out who they are and they lean into that and they start showing up as their authentic self, the person that they were in relationship with is like, huh? Who are you? Why did you change? Who is this person? And that was who they were meant to be the whole time. And that's when the relationships can shift or break or bend because they were getting a false version of who you are. So I think really the foundation of astrology is so important to really understand your birth chart and to really deep dive into who you are first and foremost. I say it over and over again in all of the episodes that the relationship you have with yourself is the most important so you can relate better to other people. Now, when we have our birth chart and our energetic blueprint, how we're meant to be, that person has theirs. It is the blending of those energies. It's the harmonizing of those energies. It's the ability to see them for who they are, relate to who they are based on who we are. And that is what creates the compatibility. So ultimately, we could be compatible with anyone in our life at different layers and different levels. As long as we're able to meet them where they're at, see them for who they are, and blend who we are with who they are in different seasons. Now, different times of our life require different energies. So for example, you might be really attracted to like a bad boy, right? Like you're in your teens, you want a bad boy, someone who's rebellious, who's unconventional, who gets you out of your comfort zone. Like that is so exciting. But as you grow and you evolve later in life, that is not so appealing. You now want to be with someone who's like safe and secure and stable and comfortable and a stay-at-home, quiet, shy person. It's not that you are more compatible with either person. It's that your compatibility needs have evolved and changed based on your season, your journey, where you are in different times and phases of your life. And of course, in astrology, we can see these different phases. We can look at, what's going on in your life at age 30, what's going on in your life at age 50, like where are you going to be in your journey to kind of see what you're most interested in. But knowing that what you want, need, and desire is the basis for what you're currently compatible with best. Sometimes you want friends that are so similar to you, and sometimes you want friends that are completely opposite and drag you out of your comfort zone. So that's a big piece of this compatibility session. And when it comes to these transits and seasons of life, I have a perfect example. I did a reading for a couple, and they've been married for many years. They have a child. They're wonderful together, but they were having some difficulties in how their life was going to look moving forward. One wanted to travel, and the other wanted to possibly have another child and work on her business. And she came to me and was very nervous about getting a reading. Because again, she was afraid that I was going to say that they're not compatible. And I was like, no. Like, this is going to be so helpful. So they did a date night for their anniversary. They both came. The husband was a little reserved, but open. And we had a wonderful conversation about their upcoming transits and the cycles of life that they're in. And it was so beautiful to see that she was on a certain journey where she needed to focus on her career for the next 3 years because Saturn was in her career house and she wanted to build a strong foundation in her career. And that was so important to her in this season. While he, on the other hand, had a lot of planets that were piling up in his travel house, and he wanted to travel and explore and adventure. And that just was so different for each of them. And so in the physical world, not understanding astrology, they were having a lot of arguments about what to do next year and where to invest their money as a couple and as a family and when to go on vacation and all these things that was taking her away from her business. Once we could verbalize it and see it in their charts and explain it to each other and have this strategy session of saying, hey, you guys, for 3 years, maybe he could travel more on his own and you can work on your business. And then in 3 years, this is how the energy is going to shift. Or even in 1 year, this is how the energy is going to shift. And then it's just a cycle, it's just a rhythm. And instead of just breaking up and calling it a day, letting the energy play out. Because remember, at the end of the day, we are each our own soul with our own journey, our own path, our own birth chart, our own road map of where we need to go in this lifetime. And so sometimes we got to go it alone for a little bit to come back together. And this is part of compatibility, of understanding that, hey, we're just in a season of life where we're going to do different things. We can be in relationship. We can stay together. We give each other grace and patience. That is my goal. That is my vision. And they're still married today. That was 4 years ago. And they're still married. And I'm just so happy for them. Now, also, I work with a lot of clients who are like wanting to date, wanting to meet someone. And they're always like, who's the best person for me, right? Who should I date? Should I date someone who's a Taurus or a this or a that? We always get clear first on what they want, what they need, what they desire. What is their journey of life? What are they focusing on? And then I really like to go into elements. This is kind of like the big umbrella of compatibility. If you don't want to get into the nuance, so you're like, oh, it's so complicated. Elements, master and missing elements. We're going to have a whole episode on this. You guys are going to love it. We're going to calculate it. I'll teach you how to look it all up. Your master element is the energy in your birth chart where you have the most planets. So let's say you have a lot of planets in a fire signs. Your fire element is your master element. And maybe you have no planets in water signs, so your missing element is water. Oftentimes I see in compatibility, what works really well is if one partner's master element is the other partner's missing element. Because we need all four to be a well-rounded, balanced person. So for me, my missing element is fire. My partner is a Sagittarius sun, has a bunch of planets in Sagittarius. His master is fire. So he books the adventures, always spontaneous. You never know what you're going to get. Every day is a new day. Like everything's an adventure. And it takes the fire that's missing in my energetic profile and adds that into my life. And that's what I'm attracted to. But in previous seasons of my life, I wasn't attracted to fire. I was attracted to the rational, stable, calm, cool, collected person who could fix everything and had the house completely organized. And I realized I had enough of that. I could do that on my own. I need someone that is different, that pulls me forward on my journey because my North Node is in a fire sign. So I'm learning in this lifetime to become more fire. That's another really cool compatibility that I've seen in people's charts is befriending, dating, being around people that have your North Node energy. So your North Node is your North Star. It's the energy that you're meant to embrace, embody, and learn about in this lifetime. It is usually very uncomfortable for people. So for me, my North Node is in Aries. Now I'd think about Aries and I'd be like, nope, I don't want to be a toddler under 7. I don't want to act that way. I don't want to be bold. I don't want to upset people. I don't want to put myself first. No, thank you. Until I met a woman who was a triple Aries. She has 3 planets, Mercury, Venus, and her sun in Aries. And I was like, oh my gosh, this lady is a lot. But now we're like really, really, really close friends. And every time I see how she acts, I witness her, I go, that's how I'm supposed to be. That is an example for how I'm supposed to live my life. But I wouldn't normally do that if I wasn't aware of my own birth chart, of my own North Star. I would probably avoid her at all costs. But I'm on this journey of growing, and so that compatibility is attractive to me in this stage of my life. And just remembering that who someone is energetically is not right or wrong. There is nobody who we can't get along with, right? So even that annoying coworker, that one that just like really irks you, there's going to be different pieces of who they are that you can connect with, that you can relate to, that you can harmonize and blend with. And figuring out what that is like the magic of knowing astrology and understanding your chart and their chart. And this is like, again, my mission of everyone understanding their chart so we can communicate and use language to certain things so we can connect and relate better. That annoying coworker, what if you found out that they were the same rising sign as you? You're like, oh, that's what we can connect on. That's how we can relate. We can avoid the fact that we have different Mars placements and we fight different, or different Mercury placements and we do not communicate the same way, but oh, we see each area of life the same. How cool is that, right? These are things that can unify us and bring compatibility into all experiences and all relationships. Now, going back real quick to ourselves, I definitely want to touch on this, is like understanding who you are first and foremost is the most important, right? So in your birth chart, it's what you need, what you want, what you desire. That's going to be your first house. Your seventh house is the energy that you need in relationships, what kind of relationship you need. Your north node is your north star, your mission, the energy you're learning to experience. Your moon sign is how you want to be loved. Your Mercury is how you communicate. Your Venus is how you want to be loved, your love language. Your Mars is, your fire, your desire. So these are just some of the basic things that you can start understanding about yourself. And we do that in like a full deep dive birth chart reading. But you can start doing that on your own. And again, we're going to have episodes for all of that. So the last example I want to give to you, and this is really great when it comes to the compatibility of meeting someone, getting to know them, and building that once you know your own chart. I did this lovely date night experience, and these are some of the fun offerings that I have for couples. We had a 3-hour date night. The couple met at a park, had a whole picnic laid out, and then I showed up and we did a 2-hour reading. And in the reading, I taught each partner about their own chart, who they are, who they're meant to be, how to show up. It created a very beautiful dialogue and discussion amongst them. I would bring something up, give them opportunities to share and express and communicate the accuracy of that or anything that they wanted to add. And then we spent about an hour talking about what they need in the relationship and how they show up. And they had just moved in together. So it was the perfect time because, for example, their rising signs were different. So the way in which they viewed finances, chores around the house, time to socialize and hang out with friends, their work-life balance, their daily habits, all of these things can be seen within the chart. And they were able to see, oh, this is why she likes to keep her room messy, or, oh, this is why he needs to get up in the morning and go to the gym. Like, we each had these different nuances, and they were able to see that right away when they moved in. So these little hiccups that were starting to happen were already smoothed over and understood and appreciated, and more grace was given in the relationship. So that was one of my most favorite. Not only was it at a beautiful park on the water and it was a picnic, but it was right as they were starting to take their relationship to the next level. And I got to be a part of helping that be a smooth transition instead of one that's usually bumpy and rocky. And that is the benefit of using the tool of astrology for relationships.
So I'm going to leave it at that. There is so much more to deep dive in on compatibility. That is my goal through each of these episodes. Just remember, I'm going to leave you with this final thought, is that the relationship with yourself is the most important, because from that foundation, you can build relationships with anyone in your life and you can make them super compatible. And if you want to build better relationships with people who are like-minded into astrology that you definitely have compatibility with, you can join us anytime over on Telegram, our Astro Weather Report. We have a group chat going. It is so much fun. If you're in it, yay. Hi, I love having you in it. We are building such a magical family and experience over there. And if you want to try it out and see if you want to make it your new home, you know where to find the link in the description box for 7 days to come hang out, chit chat with us, build your relationships with us. And I'm going to end this episode with our usual what's in our orbit, so you know what you can reach out and grab if you so choose. The holidays are coming up, so of course we have your 2025 astro forecast readings if you're ready to dive in. You can also do gift certificates if you'd like to gift a reading to somebody. This is one of the most magical ways that you can share astrology with someone. So you can get them a gift certificate for a full birth chart reading, an astro forecast reading. Maybe you want to create a date night experience with your partner and give them a gift card for a romantic date night. And we do a little bit of astrology and compatibility. So that's really fun. And then also, don't forget, we have the astrology tea collection. all 12 zodiac blends. They are a lovely gift to give to someone. You can give them the one based on their sun sign. You can pick one that is like their favorite flavor. So a green tea or a hibiscus. You can head to the description box. I have the website, which has so much more information on the astrology tea blends. And of course, for a gift, the Astrology Alchemy Journal is wonderful, especially for people just getting into astrology. It's part educational, part interactive. So they're going to learn about the planets, the zodiac signs, what a new moon, full moon means, and so much more. But it's also interactive. So they can fill it out throughout the year. Think of you, thank you for the gift all the way from the holidays through 2025. And with that, my Astro family, until next time, may the stars keep guiding you on your path.
Thank you so much for tuning in today and spending some of your magical minutes on Earth with me. Find me on Instagram or TikTok at The Relational Astrologer, where we connect daily and vote on future episode topics. If today's episode offered new insights, make sure you subscribe. And if you're finding value here, consider leaving a review. It helps others seeking harmony in their relationship find us too. And don't forget, as my thank you for helping me spread this mission, every review or share of an episode enters you into our monthly giveaway for a free 30-minute reading with me. To participate, just leave a review or share an episode to your social media, take a screenshot, and email it to me at therelationalastrologer@gmail.com. Every reviewer will receive a free PDF relationship astrology guide, and one lucky winner each month will receive a 30-minute personal astrology session. I'll announce the winner on Instagram on the first of every month, so stay tuned and enter as many times as you desire. Thank you so much for being a part of my Astro family. I'm so grateful you came into my orbit.